Hey, I'll see you on tour in Las Vegas, Chicago, and Grand Rapids. In Chicago, it's stand-up and a live panel show. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets, and make sure you go to jimmydore.com. Judge dismisses Trump's Florida classified documents case. Huh. It was a bullshit case to begin with. The FBI got caught planting stuff, evidence. The FBI is completely corrupt. The same FBI that lied 17 times to the FISA court so they could get a phone tap on Donald Trump and his entire campaign are the same people that are investigating this. Same people are going to investigate his assassination attempt. The FBI is completely corrupt. I'm also hearing that Donald Trump's speech at the RNC was supposed to be about going and exposing the deep state, and now he switched it to be about unity. I wish it was the old one. So let's get to this case. A judge in Florida has dismissed the case against former President Trump's handling of classified documents. Trump had faced charges stemming from Special Counsel Jack Smith's investigation into his possession of classified materials at Trump's Mar-a-Lago. Now, let's remember that the president could declassify any document he wanted. So the fact that they found some of these documents that were still classified, it just meant that he forgot to unclassify them. That's the way I look at it. And maybe some of them were planted by the FBI because we know they're criminals. Let me turn this down a little. Okay. He pleaded. That's a word, pleaded, not pled. He pleaded not guilty to all 37 felony counts from Smith's probe, including willful retention of national defense information, conspiracy to obstruct justice, and false statements. Former President Trump's motion to dismiss indictment based on the unlawful. So they're saying that when they appointed Jack Smith to be the special prosecutor, that was unlawful and was unconstitutional. It's granted. So she granted it. Judge Aileen Cannon. The superseding indictment is dismissed because Special Counsel Smith's appointment violates the Appointments Clause of the United States Constitution. I didn't even know there was something like that. Trump, following the ruling, told Fox News' Brett Baer that he was thrilled that the judge had the courage and wisdom to do this. This has big implications, not just for the case, but for other cases. The special counsel worked with everyone to try to take me down. This is obvious lawfare. And what lawfare is when you weaponize the justice system to go after a political opponent. That's obviously what this is. All of these cases is that. Trump added from Milwaukee this side of this way. This is a big deal. It only makes this convention more positive. This will be an amazing week. They already are booing Mitch McConnell, by the way. I wish I had that video to show you, because that was quite a thing. The Appointments Clause says ambassadors, other public ministers, and consuls, judges of the Supreme Court, and all other officers of the United States be appointed by the president subject to the advice and consent of the Senate. Although Congress may vest the appointment of inferior officers in the president alone, in the courts of law, or in the heads of departments. Smith, however, was never confirmed by the Senate. So it looks like this is one of those appointments that needed to be confirmed with the Congress, and it wasn't. Upon careful study of the foundational challenges raised in the motion, the court is convinced that the special counsel's Smith's prosecution of this action breaches two structural cornerstones of our constitutional scheme: the role of Congress in the appointment of constitutional officers, and the role of Congress in authorizing expenditures by law, the judge wrote. The framers gave Congress a pivotal role in the appointment of principal and inferior officers. That role cannot be usurped by the executive branch or diffused elsewhere, whether in this case or in another case, whether in times of heightened national need or not. In the case of inferior officers, that means that Congress is empowered to decide if it wishes to vest appointment powers in the head of the department, and indeed Congress has proven itself quite capable of doing so in many other statutory contexts. But it plainly did not do so here, despite the special counsel's strained statutory readings, the judge added. In the end, it seems the executive's growing comfort in appointing regulatory special counsels in the more recent era has followed an ad hoc pattern with little judicial scrutiny, she also said. Earlier this month, Trump requested a partial pause in the classified documents case brought against him after a U.S. Supreme Court decision found that presidents have substantial immunity for official acts that occur while they were in office. Lawyers for Trump had asked a Florida court. First of all, this is so nuts because if you remember, Comey had found over 100 cases of classified documents on Hillary Clinton's server and her emails. Over 100, hundreds. Yes. 36, I think, were high classified. Some of them were just classified. Lawyers for Trump had asked a Florida court to pause all proceedings. So don't quote me on the number, but it was at least 36 highly classified documents. I'll have to go back and check. This is off the top of my head. But they found all those classified documents on Hillary Clinton's server, and nothing happened. And she wasn't even president. Lawyers for Trump had asked a Florida court to pause all proceedings in the case until the judge can apply the Supreme Court's immunity ruling to the facts of the case. Huge news. The Biden Department of Justice classified documents case against Trump is now dismissed. Judge Cannon ruled the special counsel appointment was unconstitutional. This was their strongest Trump case. Rob Reiner says, with Judge Cannon's dismissal of the Trump stolen document case, we're seeing the beginning of the end of rule of law in America. So if they don't like how the justice system turns out.
More than 2,000.
More than 2,000? Highly classified. What was the classification? What does it say?
Clinton repeatedly claimed that she did not send or receive any information that was marked classified in her emails. That's false. FBI Director James Comey said more than 2,000 emails contain classified information, and some of them bore markings indicating the presence of classified information. And this is from Fact Check Post, Clinton's handling of classified info. Okay.
So, again, these are the people who say democracy, democracy, the rule of law, and then when they don't like the way the rule of law turns out, this is a judge making a ruling on the Constitution, and if they don't like it, they say, we don't have the rule of law. This is exactly what the rule of law is. It would be not the rule of law if Joe Biden just threw Trump in prison without a trial. That would not be the rule. This is actually the definition of the rule of law. These people are mental. So they call themselves liberal, but they're not liberals. Liberals, this is illiberal. So I have a hard time calling people like Keith Olbermann, the Democratic Party, Joe Biden, Rob Reiner. I have a hard time calling those people lefties or liberals because they're not acting like liberals are. I've always thought classic liberals are liberals. My whole life have been thought to believe what liberalism is. But now these are the people giving liberalism a bad name because they turn out to be authoritarian maniacs. Just in, Barbara McQuaid explodes on MSNBC, says Judge Aileen Cannon dismissing Trump's classified document. I guess we have this here, right?
Well, look, I think it's a terrible decision. I think it's absolutely wrong on the merits. But going forward, I think this could actually be a blessing in disguise because it gives Jack Smith an opportunity to appeal the case immediately. So many of these other decisions were within the judge's discretion as she was slow walking the case. But this is one where it's immediately appealable. And I think she is so clearly wrong on the law that the 11th Circuit will reverse. Now, Donald Trump probably goes to the Supreme Court and we have to wait for a decision there. But even if ultimately the Supreme Court rules in favor of Donald Trump, the case is not over. All that means is a special counsel can't bring this case. There is nothing then to stop the U.S. attorney in the Southern District of Florida from bringing this case. Now, certainly it means lengthy delay. There will be no trial before the election, but I think we were headed in that direction anyway. By making this decision, now Jack Smith sees the legal landscape and can act strategically the way he wants to. He could even decide the Justice Department to take this out of the special counsel's hands and go directly to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of Florida, refile the case immediately and get back on track, perhaps with a different judge.
And so, Barbara, what would immediately look like?
go to a grand jury, represent the case in front of a grand jury. I don't think immediately means the case gets refiled tomorrow. You would have to present the case to a new grand jury. But when you're republishing, it doesn't require you to bring in new witnesses. It just requires a summary witness to testify about what all of those witnesses said. So I think the case could get reindicted within a couple of weeks if they decided to go that route. Immediate appeal, that means today the appeal could be filed, a notice of appeal could be filed today.
So these people just aren't going to stop, I guess. So they're just going to keep doing it. The people who claim to care about the rule of law. So we now just, so now what's going to happen is this Republicans who are attorney generals, are they going to just start filing cases against Barack Obama for his extrajudicial killing of American citizens? Because he did that. Are they going to just start filing cases against Hillary Clinton now for all those classified documents that she had on her server? Because she did that. So that's what's turning, this is what's actually turning us into a banana republic. These prosecutions, not Donald Trump. And again, I'm not a Donald Trump fan. Didn't vote for him. Didn't vote for Joe Biden either. I voted for the moronic Green Party, which was a real disappointment to me. Keith Olbermann says President Biden should take the Supreme Court of the United States cloaking mask of immunity and have Merrick Garland arrest that judge. If they need to make up a charge, haul her in for impersonating a judge. Hey, nothing like saving democracy by imprisoning judges who rule against you. Boy, did he get ratioed on that. 25,000. These are all just... These are people who are morons, who are blinded with hatred for Trump. Trump, who lives in their own shadow. Keith Olbermann is a more disgusting pig than anything he could ever say Donald Trump is. He demeans women when he doesn't like their politics. You see what he did to Riley Gaines? He diminishes. He says he wants to throw judges in prison without a charge. Just make one up because I don't like the way she ruled. Yes, nothing like saving democracy by imprisoning judges who rule against you. Okay, so all these what I try to tell when I report cases like this, people accuse me of being a Trumper because they're propagandized and stupid. And they're uninformed. And so what this means is if they can do this to Donald Trump, a former president of the United States, they can do this to anybody, and they will. They will. That's probably why Bernie Sanders rolled over in 2016. They threatened to prosecute him or prosecute his wife because he completely capitulated and rolled over. And now he's a warmongering maniac. He's the opposite of who he's supposed to be. He supports a corporatist like Joe Biden in an authoritarian sense. He's for all that stuff. So, of course, they do this. They do this to Cornel West. They do this to Jill Stein. They do this to anybody who would stand up and be a problem for the establishment. Now they criminalize you. Look what they did to the black Uhurus, the socialists. Look what they did to Stop Cop City. The same RICO statute and the same grand jury that used to indict Stop Cop City protesters, the people protesting the expansion of the police state, they used to indict Donald Trump. And people like Cornel West don't have the integrity to call that out. They don't have the courage. That's gutless when they don't call that out. It's easy to call it out when it helps you politically, but when it doesn't, that takes real courage. Hey, you know what? You work hard to support yourself and your family, but it may seem though you are taking a step back every month instead of moving forward. When the bills are higher than what you bring in every month, you have to swipe that credit card to cover the difference. And the debt keeps adding up. But if you own a home, our friends at American Financing can help you break free from that cycle. That's right. American Financing is saving people just like you an average of $854 a month. That's a big number. Think about what you could do with an extra $800 a month and not having to worry about those minimum monthly payments. And even better, it costs nothing to find out how much you can save. All it takes is a quick call to American Financing. And if you start today, you may be able to delay 2 mortgage payments. Call American Financing today and start your journey towards being credit card debt-free. Call 888-804-0303. That's 888-804-0303. Or visit AmericanFinancing.net/Jimmy. Hey, I'll see you on tour in Las Vegas, Chicago, and Grand Rapids. In Chicago, it's stand-up and a live panel show. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets, and make sure you go to jimmydore.com.